Hello, everyone. Here's your weather hazard briefing for Saturday, April 9th. Breezy and colder is expected today, and it's April, but guess what? Occasional snow all the way through a good chunk of next week. So hopefully you didn't put the cold weather clothes away just yet. Like we said, it's going to be cold for several days. We're talking 10 plus degrees below normal, below average, probably in some cases closer to 20 degrees below average. It's going to be breezy. The front came through already today, and we've already seen blowing dust before sunrise this morning. We'll see more wind later today, and like we said, some occasional snow will be around with us. We have our little system coming through this morning. We've got the front coming through. The moisture out to the north and to the west as this trough develops is still on its way in here, and it's going to be around. We're going to see these periodic little pushes coming with this overall system setting up over the western United States. Looking at the weather risk outlook, we do have that risk of blowing dust over the Snake Plain, Magic Valley, and South Hills. Elsewhere, it's breezy with some snow showers. We're watching basically for this evening and overnight up around Idaho Falls, Rexburg over towards Driggs, the Teton Valley over into the Big Holes for potentially a little better chance of snow. We'll take a closer look at that as we get on through the briefing. So we go through tomorrow. It'll be breezy, not as breezy as today, and occasional light snow across the area. It looks like there's a better chance of snow right now on Monday and some higher impacts for the higher elevations going over some of those passes, and then we continue to actually see things winding down at least briefly as we head towards the middle part of next week. So let's take a look at how that forecast is going to shape up for today. You'll notice maybe a few sprinkles or flurries around early on this morning as we go through the rest of the day. You'll notice initially a little band of snow, a very weak convergence band setting up around Idaho Falls over towards Driggs. That doesn't stick around very long, but going into the afternoon as this first wave comes through, we're starting to see some snow showers developing across the area. I don't think we'll see thunderstorms today, but you can't say that is a certainty at this point. Might be a thunderstorm or two pop up. So we go into this afternoon. You'll notice we have a better push of snow showers coming through, and also notice up around Rexburg, Idaho Falls, up over towards the Arco Desert, we'll see this little convergence band developing and pushing southeast across the Snake Plain, and that kind of hangs up there during the overnight hours. It finally clears out as we go through the overnight hours towards sunrise tomorrow. That finally clears out, but you'll notice there'll be another push of moisture coming in with some more snow coming in. This will be mainly a highland snow event going into Sunday, but there'll probably be some light snow or flurries over portions of the Snake Plain. Maybe not so much the Magic Valley, but that is still certainly a possibility. Going back to where we are with that wind today, we've already seen some gusts above 40 miles per hour this morning. The resurgence coming this afternoon and this evening, especially across the Arco Desert, Pocatello on to the south and to the west, with some of those gusts 40 to 45, maybe peaking at 50, especially around Yale and some of the sites across the INL. We'll probably see some gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour at times. Those temperatures for today, we were in the 70s yesterday. Really, nobody is expected to get above 50. Expect maybe down towards Malad and Preston, but otherwise 30s and 40s in the valleys, 20s and 30s in the mountains. Those winds a little bit stronger late this afternoon into this evening, a little more widespread area, 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts, maybe a few higher gusts down across the highlands south of the Snake Plain. But again, you'll notice we have that northwest wind over the upper part of the Snake Plain. And speaking of that wind, we've got our wind advisory across the Snake Plain, and that includes up north of Idaho Falls. The winds up there today, it's potentially not going to get as strong as the rest of the area. That doesn't mean we won't see the blowing dust potential. We're going to be watching that for sure. But certainly we've got the potential of blowing dust with that wind later on this afternoon into this evening. Now, here's the snowfall forecast through 6 a.m. tomorrow. Just a smattering of snow across the Central Mountains, across the Arco Desert, the upper portions of the Snake Plain into the eastern highlands. You'll notice those higher amounts, Idaho Falls, Rexburg, over towards Swan Valley, and especially Pine Creek Pass into the Tetons. That's where the most of that snow is going to be, and that's kind of where that convergence band's trying to set up. This is the most likely spot we're going to see it. There's a couple of models pushing it as far south and west as Pocatello. That's a very low chance. It's not zero, but very, very low. At this point, the most likely scenario keeps that band of snow, Idaho Falls, Rexburg, over into the eastern highlands. Now, this is the official snowfall forecast. Sometimes we're looking behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz type stuff that we don't necessarily show you all the time. This is the potential of seeing snow over an inch or more, and you'll notice that kind of extends back towards Idaho Falls and Rexburg, and certainly the Big Hole, Swan Valley, the Teton Valley as well. Seeing between 1 to 2 inches. That's kind of where that forecast is falling, at least in the lower elevations. 2 inches or more, really nothing falling 10% or less over that Idaho Falls to Rexburg stretch, but still a pretty good potential in the higher elevations of the eastern highlands, the Big Holes into the Tetons, even around Driggs. That potential is about 50-50 for more than 2 inches of snow. By the time we get to looking at potential of 4 inches of snow or more, 4 inches or more of snow, kind of a tongue twister there, you'll notice we still got some percentages above 40%, and in those areas we do have some pockets of 4 to 6 inches of snow by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, for tomorrow afternoon, just some very light snow continuing mainly in the highlands. Might be some spots that see over an inch of snow for tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Gusty winds tomorrow, but not as strong as today. There still might be a little bit of blowing dust, maybe some blowing snow in the higher elevations with those gusts over 35 miles per hour. Temperatures tomorrow were going to be even cooler across the board. More 20s and 30s in the mountains. Some places across the Snake Plain not out of the lower 40s for tomorrow afternoon. And this is the snowfall we were talking about on Monday. This is just some preliminary snowfall totals. We'll get things a little more into focus. We're still looking for the track of that wave on Monday. It actually could be going track farther north and push more of the snow into Montana, or push a little farther south and drag some of the heavier amounts down towards the southern highlands. But you'll see in some places the potential is there for 4 inches or more of snow in the higher elevations. Even across the Snake Plain, some folks might see an inch or two, especially the lava beds and the INL area. But again, that's just some very preliminary numbers. Those numbers will likely change as we get this as we go through this system. This is one of these storms. It's a big low that's going to be setting over the area. You get these little waves that push through. Sometimes the models handle those very well, and sometimes not at all. Going for the highs on Monday, even a little bit warmer along the interstate corridor, but still in the 30s in the higher elevations, some 20s for the highest elevations. More snow on Tuesday, lighter amounts on Tuesday, except across portions of like the Lost River Range, the mountains up into Limhi County, also into the Tetons, the Big Holes, also down along the Bear River Range as well. Temperatures much cooler. We might see some folks not getting out of the 30s across the lower elevations on Tuesday. A little bit warmer on Wednesday with still some light snow around. Like we've said, we've been telling you. Hopefully you didn't put the cold weather clothes away, because it's going to be well below average as we go through the weekend into next week. We've got those winds with some blowing dust for today, maybe a little bit of blowing snow in the highest elevations for later on this afternoon into tonight, and that chance of snow continues along with the cold weather as we head well into next week. Have a great Saturday out there, folks, and stay safe, everyone.